Welcome to Conversations with Corrections, hosted by the Utah Department of Corrections. This occasional podcast features staff, incarcerated individuals, and other stakeholders of the UDC discussing issues that impact corrections, both nationally and within the state of Utah. Here is today's host, Department Spokesman Liam Truchard.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations with Corrections. I'm Liam Truchard, and today we're joined by Brian Farver. Brian is the education coordinator here at the Department of Corrections, and I'm already going to embarrass him. Okay. Congratulations on being the Utah State Employee of the Month for March. Tell me a little bit about that. How did you find out? And you got to meet the governor. You got your picture taken with him. Tell us a little about that.
I did. Thank you, Liam. It was a great honor. It's not something I necessarily am going around telling people, but I appreciate the sentiment. I was nominated by a coworker, and I was notified by the governor's office. I was State Employee of the Month. It was a huge honor. I got to go to the governor's office with my family and my coworkers, meet Governor Cox, who was very supportive of what we're doing here in corrections and recognizes all of the great things going on. So to me, it was obviously a great honor to be nominated and to get the award. For me, I wanted to make sure the recognition really goes to the team that I have been working with our education team and the great things that we've been able to accomplish, because I may have gotten the award, but really it was a group accomplishment. So,
well, congratulations again. Now, this last year has been a year of change in terms of the education system here at the Department of Corrections. So let's start out with the basics. Why is education for incarcerated individuals so important? I mean, to play devil's advocate, why should we be spending tax dollars on people who are incarcerated?
It's a great question, and when I first came into this position just about a year and a half ago, I had never worked in corrections, and that thought had never actually even occurred to me. I wasn't aware of how state funds were being used for education and corrections, and as I got into it and started telling people what I did, that conversation or that question started coming up more in dinner conversations. Well, why are we spending tax money on this at all? They don't deserve that. I have to spend my own money to go to school. They could just need to serve their time. And I had to educate myself about the issue, and what I've realized is you can substitute the word rehabilitation for education. And what I mean by that is if you told people, hey, while people are in custody of the Utah Department of Corrections, while they're incarcerated, we are going to give them all of the rehabilitative resources they need to, when they get out, be successful in society and not return to prison, I don't think you'd get a lot of pushback on that. And the reality is there are unfortunately few things we have found that actually do reduce recidivism, that actually do reduce the likelihood of somebody going back to prison. But one of those things where the jury is not out, like we know definitively now, education does that. It reduces recidivism. It reduces somebody's likelihood of going back to prison. So the short answer is we are willing and we should be willing to pay for education because it decreases somebody's likelihood of going back to prison. For every $1 we spend on prison education, we save $4 to $6 on incarceration. I think it costs now, last I heard, was about $144 a night for one person for one bed. That adds up really quickly. And the cost to send somebody to school is much less. And since 95% of our population will eventually be released, these will be our neighbors. These are our friends. These are our relatives. We want them to come back into society and be successful. And education is a huge, necessary part of that.
Now, I'm going to throw a shout out to Dan Powers over at Davis Technical College. And he noted previously that those that complete a program through one of the colleges that the UDC works with, that the recidivism rate is almost 1/3 less, maybe even more. So, I mean, there's statistical numbers that back that up. 100%. What is the obstacle? Where is the blockage that prevents this from happening more?
I don't think it's as simple as pointing to one thing. There's a cultural shift. There's a paradigm of changing the idea of the purpose of corrections. Are we a warehouse? Do we just keep people away from society? Or are we a correctional facility? Are we trying to help people? And, there's still a shift that we're working on to move towards the latter, to help UDC employees have that mindset, and also to help the public have that mindset, because it's not as we love to watch crime shows. We love to watch somebody get caught for doing something that they shouldn't be doing. You don't see a lot of shows about the correction side of what happens afterwards, because that's more difficult. It's easy to say this is black or white, or somebody did something wrong and they're going to get arrested. The difficult part afterwards is understanding how to actually help somebody improve. And since that's so difficult, it's easy to default to the side of just keep them locked up. So back to answer your question, the obstacles are, number one, it does cost money, and it's hard for people to see money go towards something that's difficult. Having empathy and realizing that it is in our best interest as a society to help individuals who have made very serious mistakes and mistakes that have hurt a lot of people. It's hard sometimes to have empathy in those situations. And the reality is it's just complicated. Even public education on its own. You and I would assume, both spent probably 12 years in regular school and then probably some college afterwards. To say that everybody who comes out of even a regular public education program learns everything they were supposed to learn and turned out how we wanted them to turn out, it's not that simple. So there's a lot of societal obstacles. There's a lot of financial obstacles and resources as well, just getting things in and out of the prison and people that want to teach in a prison. It's difficult.
And for myself, when I first came to work at the Department of Corrections, I was surprised at how many people had never completed a high school education or a GED. Now, I will say that, yes, I did finish college. I went to the San Diego State University, and they did well today in the NCAA tournament.
I'm happy for you. That's good.
I'm going to throw that out. Okay, so we have a number of people who are not completely educated. I don't want to say uneducated because that has a pejorative term almost. But their education is stopped for whatever reason at a certain point. How difficult is it to restart that for an individual, to get them back in the mindset that, hey, this really is for your benefit. You've now got time. How do you work with those who are incarcerated to motivate them to finish this education or to go and learn a trade that we offer at inside our facilities?
That's a great question. Once again, if it was easy to motivate people and get them to do exactly what you wanted them to do, then I think more parents would have less gray hair. It's tough to motivate people to get to do things. And I will say sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Somebody coming into a prison is a lot of times not in the headspace of thinking, I know what I'm going to do right away. I'm going to go to school. It usually doesn't happen like that. Our case managers do a great job at motivating, the individuals on their caseload and helping them see the path forward, saying, hey, maybe not right now, maybe not today, but high school may be a great option for you. Our state has done a great job at creating what's called the Justice Reinvestment Initiative, the JRI time cut. What that basically is if somebody, let's say, comes in without a high school diploma, they then choose to work and receive that high school diploma while they're incarcerated. The Board of Pardons and Parole takes time off of their sentencing. They do the same with technical degrees, technical certificates, and they do the same with post-secondary degrees as well. So there's that, I would say, carrot that's dangled out there. The biggest thing, though, is what I've seen inside the prison is it's really easy to pinpoint the individuals who are participating in these educational programs because there's just something different about them. And you notice that they carry themselves differently. They are, I won't say they're happy to be in prison, but you can tell they have a different sense of identity because for maybe once in their life, for the first time in their life, they see themselves as somebody who can dedicate themselves to something, work hard at it, and succeed and be successful. And that's catching. That spreads. And that's one of the things I've been so proud of our educational programs and partners at our Salt Lake and Gunnison facilities is as we've built these programs, it's just spreading and spreading and spreading. We have over our Salt Lake Community College partners, they have one of the largest post-secondary degree programs, or in corrections, I should say, in the entire nation. They're running close to 300 students, which is huge. Davis Technical College has over 100 students. Our high school program has a large number of students. So just at our Salt Lake facility, over a quarter of our people who are living there are engaged in education, and that spreads.
And I will say that I've noticed they're more focused when they're in education.
I agree, absolutely.
They seem to be, they have a purpose in what they are doing, as opposed to those who are unwilling to change. Let's just put it that way.
I agree.
Exactly what secondary and post-secondary education programs is the UDC currently offering?
So right now we offer, at our two state facilities at the prisons, one in Gunnison, one in Salt Lake, we partner with the local school district to run high school. So with Salt Lake City School District, they're running a high school program, Skyview Academy. In San Pete County, we're partnered with Central Utah Academy to run high school. And all of our county jail partners as well partner with their local school district to run high school. Beyond that, so post-secondary, at our Salt Lake facility, we partner with Davis Technical College to run vocational certificates. And they have welding, they have automotive repair, they have CNC machining, they have business administration, we have culinary arts, we have automation and robotics, we have IT. We have a huge program there. In Gunnison, we're running a building trades program, as well as in Duchesne County, we run a building management program where they actually build tiny homes, some of which are being shipped up here to Salt Lake for the, I don't remember the name of it, but
it's a tiny home village.
Tiny home village, yeah. So that's a great partnership that UDC has with our local colleges, with the county jails, as well as Salt Lake County in providing for the giving back to the community.
Now, there's been a big change in that Pell Grants are now
Yes.
available to those who are incarcerated. For those of us who don't deal in education on a regular basis, unless our kids are getting ready for college or whatever, explain to me, what is a Pell Grant and why hasn't it been available, and how is it going to change things?
Yeah, great question. This has been all over the news for the last couple of years. Anyone listening, if you do have kids going to college, I would highly recommend looking into Pell Grants because it's federal money that we can use to pay for basically any costs that go directly to the student. So tuition, books, things like that. And it's based on income level. About 1994, the federal government pulled back and said they will no longer offer Pell funding towards any incarcerated students. There's just, for whatever reason, that was a decision the federal government decided to do, and essentially in one stroke of the pen shut down almost every post-secondary corrections education program in the entire country. Without that Pell funding, they just couldn't run. Fast forward, through a lot of hard work, through a lot of friends of corrections, a lot of people in the Vera Institute lobbied legislators to bring back Pell funding at the federal level. Long story short, it was done. Now, students who are incarcerated can have access to Pell funding through a participating organization. And that's the catch. You can't just apply to any college if you're incarcerated and say, I want my Pell funding. You have to have a college who's already participating, which luckily Salt Lake Community College is a partner. They have been a second chance Pell institution and functioning within our prison facility under Pell for a number of years. And as I've mentioned previously, has one of the largest post-secondary corrections education programs in the nation. So their students can apply for Pell while they're incarcerated if they're eligible. It's not 100%. Not everybody's eligible, but if they're eligible, they receive those federal funds to pay for their tuition and help fund that program. And it's been a wonderful partnership, and it's only growing. We've almost doubled enrollment within the last 2 years, and graduates as well.
So double the enrollment. How many students is this?
So right now, they're running around 300 students.
300 students.
Last year, they had the number of graduates they had last year, I think, was more graduates than they've had in the last 10 years through their post-secondary or through their correctional program.
That's impressive. So I have seen like the robotics class starting up for in Dell for our women's facilities and a number of others. So let's look into the future here. Barring anything that could come up, changes in policies or whatever.
Okay.
Where do you see incarcerated education going, say, in the next 5 to 10 years?
I love that question because that's what we think about every day. And, our prisons do have a capacity of, I'll say enrollment by however many people we can fit inside the prison. Our goal is not to fit more people in the prison. Our goal is to keep people away from prison and get them out and have them never come back. But the reality is there will always be people in corrections. And our goal is that we want everybody and anybody who is under the jurisdiction of the Utah Department of Corrections to have the opportunity to participate in any education programs they want to. What that looks like in my vision is more technical programs, and especially more partnerships, more working together with our county jail partners. There's over 1,000 individuals under UDC care who are in a county jail right now. There are programs out there, but they can be a lot more robust, and we want to do a lot more partnerships with our post-secondary education schools to offer more programs at the county jail level. Salt Lake Community College, Snow College, who is expanding their program down in Gunnison. They're going to start offering a degree-bearing program very briefly. There's another, 1,500 individuals down in Gunnison who will now have access to earning an associate's degree. The future is bright. The future is absolutely bright, and we absolutely have the capacity to offer these opportunities to any individual who wants to take part of them and beyond. University of Utah will be opening a bachelor's degree program soon. So if individuals can literally work their way through high school, if they want to get a vocational certificate, then an associate's degree, take that associate's degree, apply it directly to a bachelor's program. I mean, wonderful things are happening in the state of Utah and with corrections.
And what is the biggest roadblock, the biggest obstacle out there that could prevent those things from happening? Or what are the multiple roadblocks out there?
Aside from like an asteroid hitting the earth or something like that, obviously funding. Legislative support is huge. Right now Salt Lake Community College receives, support through the Pell funding, but they also receive money from our legislature, which is, crucial. If we can get more people understanding how important this is and how impactful it is, and we have a number of legislators who have been very supportive of what we're trying to do. More is always better, and more publicity about what we're doing and the good we're accomplishing would be huge. And then, just getting the good word out there, like this. I love this opportunity because it allows me to talk about what I love, which is just providing an opportunity for people to improve themselves. Our faculty that come teach at the prison repeatedly will stop us and say, they will thank us for the opportunity to come teach in the prison. And they'll say, I just do this once a week is what they'll say. But this is my absolutely favorite place to work. And I just love hearing that, because the reality is when you have the opportunity to touch someone's life like this and really see the difference it makes makes all the difference.
Well, Brian, that's all the questions I had. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Just thank you, Liam, for this opportunity. It's been a great pleasure. My hope is that if anyone has questions or concerns or suggestions or ideas about how we can improve education and corrections, or they have, thoughts of how they can help, or, maybe concerns about why we're doing this, I would just encourage them to reach out. Absolutely always welcome to reach out to me. But we're doing a great thing. We're doing a good thing. And I hope that people start to realize how impactful it will be.
Well, Brian, thank you very much for being here. Really appreciate your time. I know a lot of heavy lifting lately, so I really do appreciate you taking the time out and talking to us. And for everybody else, thank you for joining us on Conversations with Corrections, and we'll see you next time.
This has been Conversations with Corrections from the Utah Department of Corrections. These podcasts are on our website at corrections.utah.gov or on the UDC YouTube page. Suggestions for a future topic can be sent to corrections@utah.gov. Thank you for joining us.